everybody, it's Amanda from the farm and welcome to another episode of In the Farmer's Kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making stuffed 8-ball zucchini. Now 8-ball zucchini is a variety that plenty of you are probably not familiar with. We're all familiar with the long traditional zucchini. The 8-ball looks just like a little ball. So we're going to I took about 6 of these. We're going to cut the tops off. Okay, and then we're going to scoop out the center here. And I have a bowl. I've already done the rest. So we're going to take a spoon and just hollow out the insides. Little tip to make the scooping a little easier, I like to use a grapefruit spoon. It has those little prongs on the edges. Makes really good for digging right into that nice zucchini pulp. Alright, it doesn't have to be too clean. So I've cleaned most of my pulp out of the middle of the zucchini there. And now we're just going to chop up what's left. Just a nice rough chop is fine. Nothing too crazy. It's going to cook down a little bit anyway. Okay. The top part that we cut off, I'm just going to set that aside. We're going to use it a little bit later on towards the end. And I'm going to put the zucchini that I just chopped up in with the rest. Okay. Before we started, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And I also started cooking some bacon. I have about 4 slices of bacon here, which is just about done. I'm going to give this one more flip. Okay. Some other stuff that's going to go into our stuffed zucchini tonight, we have onions. I've already chopped about a cup of the yellow onions. It was about half of a large sized onion. We have 2 tomatoes that we're going to chop up. Beef broth, you can use chicken broth or vegetable broth. I have seasoned Italian breadcrumbs, which I've mixed with shredded cheddar cheese. It's about 3/4 cups of cheese to about a cup of breadcrumbs. And again, we're making 6 portions, so if you're going to do a little bit smaller, make sure you just cut that size down a little bit. And we're going to have some extra cheddar cheese here to top everything off with at the end. Okay. So my bacon's looking pretty good, so I'm going to take it out of the pan. Okay. Out of it. Should be doing this with tongs, not a fork. But it'll work. Alright. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit, pat it dry. Okay. And now we're going to add our onions. We're going to leave the bacon grease that was in there. There's not too much in there. And we're going to add our onions to the pan. So we're going to saute the onions up. Stir. Alright, and while that's cooking down a little bit, we're just going to chop our tomatoes here. I have 2 tomatoes that we're just going to put a really rough chop on. They're going to cook down quite a bit anyway, so they don't have to be too small. And we're going to add both of these to our zucchini mixture that we've already chopped up. Now I know a lot of you guys haven't seen this type of zucchini before. It's originally from Europe. Italy and France are 2 of the main countries that it comes from. And it has a little bit more of a buttery, nutty flavor to the zucchini as opposed to the long ones that we're used to. And it makes a really great vehicle for the stuffing of them. Okay, it's just that perfect shape. It holds them in nice. And makes it just a really nice, easy dinner. Okay. We're going to add that to our bowl. Now we're doing an almost vegetarian style here tonight. We do have the bacon. If you are vegetarian, you can use tofu in the stuffing. We've also done this with ground beef or ground turkey, which is great too. It's just a little bit denser. So just some other options, but tonight we're just going to do the bacon because who doesn't like bacon? stir around our onions here. Turn up my heat a little bit. We're going to cook this on about a medium setting. And I'm going to add my tomatoes and my zucchini right in here with the onions. Alright, there we go. I'm going to stir that all up. Alright, we're going to let this cook down for about 5 minutes or so, and we'll be back in a little bit. It's been about 4 to 5 minutes or so, and our zucchini and our tomatoes and our onions have been cooking down nicely. We don't want to overcook them because then it's just going to kind of turn to mush. You don't want to turn to mush. So 4 to 5 minutes is perfect time. So I'm going to take this off the heat, and I'm going to put it back into our bowl. All right. Just pour that right back in. And while we were gone, I chopped up that bacon that I had taken out of the pan earlier, and we're going to throw it back into the zucchini, tomato, and onion mixture. Okay. There we go. And we're also going to take our breadcrumbs with the cheddar cheese, pour that into the bowl as well. And then we're just going to stir everything really well together. Alright, so we're going to incorporate all those ingredients. It should get nice and juicy, but still have a firm texture to it. We don't want it to be like we're eating a soup when we're trying to eat our stuffed zucchini, but too dense at the same time doesn't make for an enjoyable meal either. That's pretty well incorporated. Alright. And I also have a couple sprigs here of some fresh oregano. And we're just going to cut this up and add this to the end. So I'm going to just really quickly take the leaves off the stem. When you guys are working with fresh herbs, one really good rule of thumb is to always add fresh herbs at the end to your meals. As opposed to using dried herbs, you want to use those more towards the beginning of the meals because that's going to bring out more of the flavor in the dried herbs. The fresh ones, it's going to lose more of its flavor. I'm going to give the oregano here a quick chop. Toss it into my mixture. Alright, and we're going to give that a quick stir again. Alright, so we have a little ooey gooiness going with the cheese in here. Breadcrumbs are binding everything together. Everything is well mixed. Okay, so there is our stuffing mixture for our zucchini. And now we're just going to put it into our 8-ball zucchinis. Alright, so I put all my little 8 balls here in a casserole dish, standing up nice and nice. And we're just going to stuff them. And these are so much easier to stuff than the long ones are. Just go right in the middle here. And you're probably going to have some extra stuffing left over, so that's always good. You can save that for another night, or if you have the long zucchini, want to stuff that. Eggplant is great to stuff as well. So this mixture would go really well in any of those. Or if you just want a little side of the stuffing, you can do that too. Just get my hands right in there. We'll get all, there we go. Nothing like cooking with your hands. Okay, just be careful, it might be a little hot. Alright, now we're just going to top them all off so they're nice and full. Actually, it doesn't look like we're going to have much left over after all. They're actually going to fit right back in here. And there we go. Alright, great. Now we're going to take that stock. Again, I have the beef stock. And we're going to pour it into the casserole dish so that it's about up to about 1/4 of an inch of the way of the zucchinis. So it's probably, depending on the size of your casserole dish, could be a cup, it could be 2 cups. There, I might as well just use the rest. Okay. Alright, now we're ready to pop this in the oven for about 20 minutes or so. And like I said earlier, we preheated the oven to 350 degrees. So we're going to cook this halfway for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to pull it back out and top it with that cheddar cheese. So let's put this right in here. And we'll see you guys in a little while. Welcome back. It's been about 20 minutes and our zucchini 8 balls have been in the oven cooking. So now we're going to take them out and check on them. And they're starting to look good. They're starting to get a nice little golden brown on the top. I can't tip that up too far or else we're going to have a nice big mess with all the broth in there. Okay. Now I'm going to top these with a little bit of salt and pepper. Probably should have mixed that into the mix, but I forgot. It happens. So I'm just going to do a little bit of salt and then a little bit of fresh ground pepper onto it. Okay. And then we're going to top it with some even more cheddar cheese. Alright, so I have that little bit that I have left over. And we're just going to top these guys. Cheese. Perfect. Okay. Alright. Now we can take those tops that we've cut off earlier and set aside. We can take those, and if you have room, we can kind of nestle them in between so they can get a little bit of the broth, and they're going to just soften up just a little bit, become a little bit more tender, soak up some of the flavor. We don't like to waste anything, so we can eat this part too. Nestle those right in there. So now we have that beautiful cheese-topped stuffed zucchini. And we're going to throw this back into the oven again at 350 degrees for another 20 minutes. Alright, so we'll let the cheese on the top of that get nice and melted and ooey gooey, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes for the final results. Welcome back. It's been another 20 minutes or so, and we're about to check our stuffed 8-ball zucchini now that we put the cheddar cheese on the top of them. Okay. Ah, gorgeous. Pull these out here. Beautiful, look at that. The cheese on the top is just starting to turn brown. It's nice and melted. Alright, and if we were here to go in with our fork and kind of, the sides are nice and tender. Ah, this is going to be great. This makes a great side dish, or you can eat this as your main course if you have the ground beef or ground turkey, or just like this with the bacon, or again if you're vegetarian with some tofu. You can't beat a stuffed zucchini. Until next time, I'm Amanda from the farm. Eat healthy, eat local. Thanks for watching.